Hi third graders, happy Monday. I hope you had a great weekend. I'm excited to make today's video. Today I'm going to go over some of the things I want you to be working on, and then I'm also going to go through a couple worksheets. I'm going to email those out to your parents, so make sure that you have those and you are working through them. I'll go over them in a little bit. If you need a hard copy, please let me know. I can mail that to you or deliver it to your door. Just let me know what you need. I printed a whole bunch off at school. But right now I'm reporting to you from my porch. My backyard is beautifully covered in snow. Just really cool how it stuck to the trees but not to the roads. And I am sitting in my antique chair. Maybe I'll work on it, make it so it's not so wiggly. But IXL, that's something I want to cover. I love seeing you answering questions. We're just short of 30,000 questions answered as a class. So my challenge to you students is to answer as many questions as you can by the end of this week. I would love for us as a class to be to 31,000 questions answered. Also, it was really fun getting on Prodigy with many of you on Friday. I love seeing you logging in. Prodigy was a struggle for me, trying to learn how to do it. I think I'm at level 13 now. But shout out to one of my classmates or students for helping me navigate the world of Prodigy. Hopefully I can log in and challenge more of you this week. I have set up a new assignment for you and just a lot of really good stuff going on. Please continue to have your parents, please continue to check your emails. I will send out stuff Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and maybe a craft to do on Tuesdays. Please let me know if there's anything else I can do to help you. I am excited to make the rest of this video and continue learning. As you can see, Sparky is doing great. He's in a new tank. Well, not new tank, it's a nice clean tank, and he's been swimming down a little bit more, so he's doing good. Okay, so here's the worksheet for this week. We have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then on the back, Thursday and Friday. I'm going to quickly go through each one and then we'll go through it together on Friday. So for this one, for Monday, that's today, we're looking at the main idea, so what the story's mostly about, and then your supporting details are things that you read in here that support the main idea. So that's today's. Tomorrow is text structure. Tuesdays, we haven't had text structure for our Tuesday assignment yet, so I did the first one. If you use coupons while shopping, then you will save money. So it wants me to determine what type of text this is. Is it a description, a compare and contrast, sequence, problem solution, or cause and effect? I wrote that the first one, if you use coupons while shopping, then you will save money, is cause and effect. And the terms that really let me know that is if and then. Description would mean it's describing something to you, so that would be like me describing what my backyard looks like. Compare and contrast would be like Miss Heiser is funnier than Miss Scamper. That's not true, but that would be what a compare and contrast is. Sequencing is kind of like an order of stuff. So when I made cookies the other day, that would be sequencing, reading that. Problem and solution is, oh no, something went bad. How did I solve it? And then cause and effect is one thing happens which causes another thing to happen. So try to fill in the blank what text structure that you think each of these sentences represents. For Wednesday, we're doing inferencing again. So you're using information that you already have in your head to determine what's going on in this picture, and then also to explain what's happening in this text. If we look at Thursday, theme and main idea are really similar. In school, we mostly say that theme is what the story is about, and then main idea is what the story is mostly about. So they're kind of the same concept, so it clumped them together here, theme and main idea. So I did the first one. Family and friends are the most important thing of all. So that statement is telling me the importance of family and friends. So if there was a whole story about this statement, the main idea would be the value or importance of family and friends. So read each of these and then kind of tell me what the purpose is or what that story would be mostly about. Fridays, I'm really excited about this. If you want to call me and read these to me, that would be awesome and probably make my day. Read each sentence 3 times with the appropriate expression. So I'm going to read this one first, and we'll see if I can do it with the appropriate expression. Don't even think about touching my new Lego set. Don't even think about touching my new Lego set. How about this one? Don't even think about touching my new Lego set. Don't even think about touching my new Lego set. So I would love if I got some phone calls and you just started reading one of these to me with great expression. You could also send me a video text or email, whatever you feel is good. I miss you friends a lot, so I would love to hear you read these. Will you pretty please buy me a puppy if I get all A's, please? I bet you guys can do better than that. And then the bonus, write a short story. Your story must include the following words: wash, colorful, behind, summer, car, and treat. My creative friends, I look forward to reading those. And here is the homework for this week. It is the same setup as always. So you do 1 day, 2 days, 3 and 4. Let me know if you have any questions. Kind of, I guess, some of the newer concepts on here is this has been on the homework for a while, but you're balancing the equations. So we know that 6 times 5 equals 5 times 6. But another way to kind of look at this is if I do 2 times 6, I know that that is 12. So I need to figure out 4 times what equals 12. And I know that 4 times 3 equals 12. And yes, I did just give you an answer to your homework. On the other side that we were just looking at, I have the time stuff. So write the time on the digital clock, then write how to say the time. So if we're looking at this one, we know that our shorthand is our hours. So it hasn't quite made it to 4 hours yet. So I know that it's 3 something. And let's skip count by 5s. 5, 10, 15. It is 3:15. So then if I wanted to write this in words, I could write quarter after 3. Or I could write 3:15. Okay, so that's how you can do that, and then you're going to do the same thing over here. Let me know if you have any questions on this homework. I would love to help you at any time. So the last thing that I'm going to cover on our video today is reading more of The Secret Zoo. I hope that you are all reading a lot at home. I know I really just want to read this book, but I want to make sure I'm sharing it with you friends as well. So we just finished off with our main character, Megan, and she was seeing the monkeys, but then her brother didn't see them. And so then the last line was that would eventually alter the course of the world. So now we're on after the discovery, and it is October 2. 14 red-eyed leaf frogs hopped down the zoo corridor, jumping and tumbling over one another as they scrambled forward. Pop, 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 pop. The sticky pads of their feet slapped the floor and sounded like exploding miniature firecrackers. 100 aquariums lined the walls. Occasionally, a frog leaped sideways and stuck to the glass for a few seconds. The 14 red-eyed leaf frogs hopped into a small exhibit at the end of the corridor, the special exhibit that a young girl had sneaked into just minutes earlier. They found exactly what they feared: nothing. The girl was gone. 3 sheets of notebook paper lay on the ground, colorful red pages with purple lines and blue stars in the corners. Torn and crinkled, the pages were still fluttering as they settled on the floor. The 14 red-eyed leaf frogs didn't know the pages were from the diary of a girl named Megan Nowicki, who months earlier had spotted monkeys escaping from the zoo. They stared at the pages. Then, wiping the sheets with their long, sticky tongues, 3 leaf frogs picked them up, and so the story began. And I didn't know that was going to be the end of the chapter. It's always good, I guess, to flip through your book first. So I'm going to begin reading. That wasn't even the first chapter. That was the prelude. So now I get to read chapter 1, The Beginning, October 23. Missing! Noah scooped up the paper and read the word a second time. He walked the rest of his street with his eyes fixed on the grainy black and white photograph of his sister and the word that had haunted him for 3 weeks. Missing! Until recently, he associated the word with minor misplaced things like his keys or his baseball gloves, but now it described his sister. On her way to a piano lesson 3 weeks earlier, Megan had stepped off the porch, walked down the street, and never been seen again. She simply disappeared. And the first day after her disappearance, she was all anyone could think about. Her picture was posted on every storefront window and telephone pole within 100 miles. County residents had united to search for her. They walked hand in hand across open fields, scoured deep woods, and walked door to door in distant communities, hoping someone had seen her. Their search spanned days, weeks, but after 3 weeks, there was still no sign of Megan, and though no one said the words, people clearly had given up. Determined to find his sister, Noah began his own search and called upon his 2 best friends, Ella and Richie, to help him. For most of their lives, Ella and Richie, Megan and Noah had been members of a club called the Action Scouts. Their club was like most others. They had a fort, a name, secret passwords, and private meetings. What made the Action Scouts special was that it was their club, based on their unique friendship. So powerful was the Scouts' friendship that they believed they were inseparable, and Noah, Ella, and Richie hoped this would bring Megan home. It didn't. Now, 3 weeks after Megan's disappearance, Noah found himself gazing at her picture as he walked across his backyard. Minutes ago, he found the flyer in the street. It had probably blown off a telephone pole. "Meg, where are you?" he whispered. The wind snapped the edges of the flyer. Noah gave it a final look and stuffed it into his pocket. He stopped in front of the big oak tree in his backyard. Nailed to it was a weather-beaten sign with faded paint. He'd made it years ago with Megan, Ella, and Richie. The sign read, "You are now entering Fort Scout. Do not enter." It might as well have read, "Welcome, now go away." He stared high into the tree. 20 feet above was Fort Scout, set in a tangle of tree limbs. It was the most elaborate tree fort he had ever seen. It had a roof, 2 doors, and 4 windows. It had 3 points of entry, a ladder, a rope, a spiral staircase that circled the trunk and ended at a hole in the floor. Long rope bridges connected the front to far-off trees. Noah climbed the stairs and stepped into the fort. His footsteps thumped on the wooden planks. The fort was filled with stuff, tables and chairs and games and jackets. A pile of equipment lay on one side of the table. Tools, batteries, and strange electrical objects that looked like metal bugs. These belonged to Richie, a whiz with gadgets. He was always working on what he claimed was high-tech spy equipment. Noah stared out the window at the empty gray sky and heard nothing but the sound of the wind. He headed across one of the rope bridges towards a lookout platform. The bridge creaked and swayed. On the platform, he looked towards Clarksville City Zoo. 2 elephants, a giraffe, and a tiger were in his view, sleeping in their compounds. But mostly the zoo looked empty and sad. Looking down on the zoo from the height of the platform made Noah think of the night Megan had insisted she spotted monkeys on the rooftops. He remembered standing beside her, scanning the darkness for a sign of anything unusual. He seen nothing, certainly no runaway zoo animals. Only 1 page left. From that night until the day she disappeared, Meg had acted differently. She'd been distant and preoccupied, like a person with a secret. Sometimes Noah had weird thoughts. Sometimes he wondered if the zoo had something to do with her disappearance. Megan, after all, had claimed she spotted animals escaping. Maybe she had. Worse, maybe she wasn't supposed to. Perhaps she'd put herself in some kind of danger just by seeing them. Could the animals have come for her, kidnapped her? Because something bad was going on at that zoo? These were ridiculous ideas, and no one knew it. He was stressed, and the stress was making him think crazy things. Still, if these ideas were so crazy, why did they keep coming back? Noah looked away from the zoo. He wondered where Megan was, if she was okay, and whether she'd ever make it home. He bumped his toe on the short flagpole that lay on the platform. The flag was red with large white letters, A and S. He picked it up and held it in the air. "The Action Scouts distress flag," he muttered. 2 years earlier, Richie's grandfather, an Army veteran, had given the kids the idea of making distress flags. He'd said that if the scouts became separated, they'd need a way to communicate trouble, and the distress flags had been his answer. He talked Richie's grandmother into making one for each of the children and one for Fort Scout. Noah fitted the pole into a spot in the tree, the flag waved, and the A and S rippled in the breeze. He looked across his yard and into the street. A part of him hoped Ella or Richie would see the flag and come running. If not Ella or Richie, then someone, anyone, who could help him get his sister back and his old life. Noah waited almost a half hour. No one came. Finally, the cold got the best of him. He climbed down from Fort Scout, entered his house, and went to bed early. As he lay beneath his covert, he imagined Megan, her warm smile, and her sisterly love. Eventually, he drifted to sleep. Shortly before midnight, he woke up to tap, tap, tap on his bedroom window. That's a cliffhanger, my friends. Chapter 2 is a cryptic message. Thank you for reading with me. Thank you for tuning in to this video. Please feel free to give me a call at any time or shoot me a text or email. I look forward to chatting with some of you later and hearing what's going on. Hopefully you have a beautiful day. Maybe you can go enjoy the snow a little bit. Love you bunches.